Our next session is a fireside chat on how JTV's digital foundation is helping it embrace its post-pandemic future. Joining us for this session are Kathleen Stockham, Senior Director of Marketing at JTV, and Sarah Cascone, Senior Director of Marketing at Bluecore. This session will talk about some of the marketing and technology investments that help make JTV successful during the pandemic and how they're taking those lessons into the next normal. Before we get started, we're going to play a quick video to introduce you to JTV.
Why JTV? Because last year, we saved our customers more than $100 million on jewelry they love. Having offices around the world means we source exquisite gemstones and jewelry and bring them home to you. We keep our costs lower
and your smile bigger.
Extraordinary jewelry at extraordinary prices. That's JTV. Search for JTV where you find streaming apps or go to jtv.com online.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. You're looking at a very cloudy East Tennessee and the beautiful Tennessee River right behind me. So JTV, we are one of the largest jeweler and gemstone retailers in the world. We boast actually a television and broadcast presence into 90 million homes across the U.S., both on cable and satellite and also across streaming TV and OTT. We also have an exceptionally large e-commerce footprint, boasting nearly 500,000 SKUs across the business. We are likely one of the larger non-bridal jewelers as well. So we compete in a very unique space across all of accessories and jewelry. And frankly, one of the things that makes us incredibly unique is we're not just a reseller of other people's jewelry. We actually make and source about 85 to 90% of everything that we sell. So it makes us incredibly unusual. And as you saw in the TV spot, we source from all over the world to bring the most beautiful and obviously the best value to our customers.
That's so fun. And I think it's really cool to see a brand that's evolved from the TV world into the digital age we're in now. Kathleen, I'd love to hear about the dynamics of your shoppers through the past year. How did you see their behavior shift?
Yeah, so broadcast retail in and of itself experienced what we would call a bit of a renaissance during the COVID era starting last March, and we were really no different. I think consumers as a whole were beginning to possibly start to turn away from the news, start to turn away from sort of the daily diatribe of being at home, where a lot of retailers were, sort of reaching out and saying, hey, we're with you. We took a slightly different turn and said, you know what, we want to be your sweet escape. We're here for you 24/7, online, on broadcast. We're selling beautiful jewelry that we can still get to you. You can't get to stores, but we can absolutely get it to your doorstep. And again, beautiful things at a great value. Our show hosts are incredible. Every single talent that you see on our broadcast is a certified gemologist. We actually have several highly degreed gemologists, including our chief executive officer. And so again, being that sweet escape allowed us that opportunity to reach into homes. We ended up, frankly, through the COVID era, shattering every record we had as far as revenue, average order value, new customers, broadcast viewership. We killed every single record, and some of the things that we did, obviously was paying attention to those new customers. So when a lot of retailers were pulling back, spending less, sitting back a little bit, we all sort of looked at each other and went, okay, well, now's our chance. And so we leaned in, we leaned heavily with spend. We have an incredible data house within JTV and probably boast one of the more sophisticated MTA models in all of retail. And we're pretty boastworthy about that we love our MTA model. And the data was telling us go, go, go. And that's what we've done. And we've leaned in and we've spent and we have invested both in new customer acquisition, but also in the technology behind it. I know we'll talk about technology a little bit later, but that MarTech investment has allowed us to really leapfrog through this really interesting retail period and grow not only the strong loyalty that we have with our core customers. Many of them have been customers of ours all 27 years we've been in business, but also enticing that new customer that's new to JTV and is learning along the way. And we're right there to help her select and choose everything that she needs.
Yeah, tell me more about those new customers. How are they different from your traditional customer base who have been with you for 27 years, which is incredible loyalty if I've ever heard it?
Yeah.
What's the difference, and how do you kind of take that into account for your marketing strategy?
So understand that our primary customer, she's might be a little bit older than your average customer. That's where we tend to sit, which is true for a lot of home shopping networks. She's a little older. She's likely got a lot of disposable income. The new customers we're finding are, they're a little bit different. They're skewing a little younger. They are hardcore jewelry buyers. They buy a lot of accessories, but they're actually discovering some cases, obviously for the first time. And they're also very much on trend. It's not about just sticking with traditional pearls and diamonds, but they're really on trend. So they're looking for petite jewelry, but they're also looking for statement pieces. They're looking for color. And that's one of the things that we specialize in, is a lot of colored stones and colored jewelry. And I think what they're enjoying about it is not just buy it, see you later. We're sending them emails about how to care for these things, how to clean them, how to wear them, how do you wear layered jewelry, how do you, wear jewelry that's appropriate, for your color, your age group, anything like that. And what they're finding is that we're not just a retailer. We want to be your everyday, jeweler for life. So it's also about all the other components that come with it. And we've been able to really dig into that data and, again, go find more customers that are like that behave that way, that are shopping that way. And we've been there every step of the way with not just email and outbound, but also serving them obviously with great digital messaging, with search engine marketing, and all the things that every retailer would do. And we've been, I think, pretty smart and surgical about where we've been investing.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying about the difference in your different shoppers. And yeah, perfect. Each individual shopper is different and dynamic, and you can slice and dice based on groups, and like having those trends are super important for directional information. But talk me through a bit more how the individual preferences of shoppers are helping power your strategy as you move forward past the pandemic and beyond.
Sure. So one of the things that we've been utilizing, obviously, in our Bluecore backend is the ability to create affinity audiences, and understand that on legacy platforms that we've had in the past, in order to build a preference list or an affinity list because you've looked at or shopped or shown interest in a particular product, I would normally have to go and bother my email team. And may I say, I have an awesome email team. They are wonderful. But I would literally have to go and ask for a sequel pool, and I'd hang around like a raccoon by a dumpster hoping to get some data out of them. But I am actually now able to go build those lists myself in the Bluecore tool. And so I can actually pivot very, very quickly, that if we've had a major launch of something, I can go in a few days later and I can begin to pull that affinity list, and I can market to them one-to-one based upon what they've looked at, what they've shown interest in, what they've actually purchased in the past, and utilize that logic. The other thing that we love is utilizing the Customer 360 tool. And in that Customer 360 tool, I can drill down to the individual user, and I can see what emails they've received, what they've opened, what they've not opened, what they've searched for, what they've bought. And I can actually begin to formulate different journeys and different paths based upon what those users are looking for. So we may find that there was a product that we have had somewhere else on the website, and we weren't even paying attention to those sales. And I can pull up that 360 and see that, okay, this has actually been selling really well. This is actually kind of a cash cow for us, I can build a whole journey almost immediately to go back and get in front of that user, to suggest that next best product, to suggest, here's something, you've bought this, beautiful moissanite ring, but maybe I need to suggest to you to go get a bracelet that matches or a necklace that matches. And I can do that utilizing these tools. And it's really reframed the way that we think about our customers and how we market to them. It's not just a chuck and duck that everybody gets the same email. We're able to be even smarter about that. And again, through this COVID era, it's allowed us the opportunity to really, really get into some neat segmentation and put that right product in front of that right customer at the right time. And we're really excited to see those results.
Yeah, what you're saying is really important. I think the old world has been about these preference centers and how people are opting into what they're interested in. What's important now, especially with the speed at which the consumer and the shopper is moving, is you kind of lose an element of discovery when you use that tactic. So being able to kind of gather these implicit signals, as we had shown, and use that to inform, hey, actually, based on these affinity audiences, they actually might be interested in XYZ product. That is
Correct.
an amazing way to bring them back to the next best product they're likely to buy. Specifically on one of your favorite campaigns that you
Yes.
guys have put together based on this, can you talk through what this campaign was all about?
Sure. So our diamond audience and our moissanite audience, we found there's a lot of similarities. So our diamond buyers are obviously looking for cut, clarity, carat, all of those things. Moissanite is also a very rare diamond. It's actually mined from the moon, and it's beautiful. And I'm actually wearing a moissanite diamond, and the sparkle is spectacular. So these are also diamonds that are found in nature, and those shoppers behave very similarly. There's a price point difference, obviously, in the different carats and cuts, and some people have a preference, obviously, for more shine, less shine. And so we put together this great little affinity journey to help us identify those moissanite and diamond buyers so that we can actually migrate those customers who have been strictly diamond buyers to actually introduce them to moissanite, and vice versa. Customers that are very familiar with moissanite, just in the industry, we have them. We have a beautiful selection at great prices, but maybe it's time to introduce them to companion products that are in our diamond selection. So this particular affinity group, and you see it has about 203,000 people, and we email them on a regular basis, particularly when we have new products, new arrivals, and also something new that's been introduced perhaps from one of our designers. And it's performed exceptionally well. But again, that affinity allows us to be a little bit more customer led. The customer is telling us based upon their web actions what they're doing, and we're right there to serve them, to get them a message in their inbox right away to say, hey, you're interested in this, and here's a few more things about it. And so we work with our creative team, our designers, and our web operations team to come up with a lot of different themes for these particular affinities. They perform exceptionally well. The revenue is great, and consumers really, really like them because, again, it provides not just here's what's on sale or here's what we have, but also here's more about them. Here's how to care for them. Here's how you should wear them. And here are suggestions in the way to buy it. And again, they perform exceptionally well, and we've been really happy with that.
Yeah, so talk to me a bit. You touched on this a little bit around the shifts you made in technology. There are shifts required in an organization to invest in a way that allows you to evolve at the speed of the consumer. And, for some of our customers, this shift to being more digital first has manifested in a way organizationally where, hey, now stores and digital are going to report up to this chief customer officer, where customer and the audiences you speak of are truly at the center of their strategy so that they can predict what customers want to buy next. Talk me through the process or technology changes that you guys went through at JTV to be able to operate in this fashion.
Yeah, we're exceptionally lucky at JTV. Our entire C-suite is very engaged. We work exceptionally collaboratively across all layers of our executive team. They're all heavily invested in this, going all the way from our CEO, Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Technology Officer. We're all pretty much in the mosh pit together. And investing in digital excellence and omni-digital excellence has been, I've been at JTV now almost 4 years, and that has been literally the mantra since day one, is all of that. So as it relates to upgrading and changing our email service provider, when it means upgrading and changing our consumer tracking, when it upgrades to data, upgrades to everything that we do that powers our MTA model, being very selective about the partners that we work with who are just as much in the foxhole as we are about that digital excellence is what we've been doing. And it's something that we demand of each other and of all of our partners. Our Chief Technology Officer, who I talk about frequently when I get to do these kind of things, he's a very nice man, but he is no one's fool. And what I love about Chris Meistrick is he is a student of this, and it's not just making decisions arbitrarily because of what a salesperson said. I mean, he really gets in the weeds with us, with our Chief Marketing Officer and our SVP of Digital and our Chief Strategy Officer and our CEO. I mean, we're all pretty much diving in there together to look at the details, to examine all of the needs that the business has versus the investment, and then, you know, use that to make selections. And all across all of our leadership teams across e-commerce and software engineering, merchandising, customer service, and warehouse. I mean, there is absolutely, you know, no room for, you know, any kind of question marks. We're in it to get it done. And again, through this whole pandemic period, the payoff has been watching all of that investment and all of that dedication to excellence come together. And again, shattering those records, breaking revenue records, new customer records. And it's been awesome. So now the challenge is we have to repeat that this year. And that's where we are right now.
Yeah, having to anniversary that success is incredible. And what you said, I think, is spot on around, it seems like you've got all the right stakeholders around the table to really make decisions on how to shift the business. I hear a lot, especially lately, about this internal friction between brand versus personalization, and this battle between, yeah, we want to put the customer first, but we also want this brand strategy to take precedence. So what advice would you give marketers who are going through this, who understand that personalization is changing and the needs behind that, whether technologically, process-wise, organizationally, need to shift too?
Yeah, it's very simple. There's only one person in charge, and that's the customer. So a smart organization is going to follow the customer, what the customer wants, the way they act, what they're demanding, their expectations. That's where you need to be. You can hire the smartest brand person in the world, but the customer alone is going to lead and dictate that all day long. And again, from an omni-digital standpoint with a broadcast network, we're able to take that data, feed it to web, take the web data, feed it to broadcast. We're watching that all day long. And again, you have to watch and invest in what the customer wants, and that's where you should go, hands down.
There you go. What a great way to close out this session. Kathleen, thank you so much. This was so much fun. And to everyone at Commerce Next, we'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.